I have to bring it up. Gwen Stacy in this movie is freaking woke.
Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Theus here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm gonna finally be reviewing my most anticipated movie of 2023, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the second installment in the Spider-Verse, possibly trilogy, I guess, and it's directed by Joaquin Dos Santos, Cam Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. And it stars Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Jake Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren Velez, and new additions to the cast who include Oscar Isaac, Issa Rae, Daniel Kaluuya, Jason Schwartzman, Karen Sony, Amanda Stenberg, Shia Wigham, etc. So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse tells the story of Miles Morales has troubles with his parents. With his parents, he has a troubled relationship and trouble with his school life as he reportedly flunked in Spanish. And then he was late to his father's celebration of becoming captain. And meanwhile, on another universe, Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Woman recruiting Gwen to go on missions in order to save the multiverse. There's a villain named The Spot who pretty much messes up the multiverse. And Miles, faces off against him in this world. But then Gwen Stacy comes to his world to be able to watch over Spot while catching up on Miles. Yeah, so Miles pretty much joins the multiverse crew in order to stop it. But unfortunately, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, rejects Miles because he believes that Miles is the one who messed up the multiverse. So pretty much, Spider-Man is on a mission to survive while everyone, with the exception of Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, turns against him. This was definitely my most anticipated movie of 2023, and it has not changed ever since. Yeah, this was my most anticipated movie of the year, mainly because it's Spider-Verse. I wanted to see these Spider people again. I wanted to see where Miles and Gwen's storylines would go. I thought that No Way Home was the definitive Spider-Man movie already, so I didn't think that Across the Spider-Verse would top No Way Home as the best Spider-Man movie. And I did not think that this was going to be my favorite movie of the year. Considering that Scream 6 was my second favorite movie of all time, but I thought that nothing would beat Scream 6 as the best movie of the year. And then came Across the Spider-Verse. After seeing this movie in theaters, I gotta say this right now, oh my god, like, wow. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. Like, I could go on and on about how masterful this movie is. While it does have like a few jokes, it kind of feels like it's not a kid's movie. Like, sometimes I forget that I'm watching a family movie. Plus, it's a long movie, so I don't know how kids can, sit through this thing. It's a long 2 hours and 20 minutes movie. And I did feel the runtime. I actually did feel the runtime for this movie. You want to watch this movie forever. It's like you want to live in this movie. In every single scene, you really want something more. One of the main reasons why people love these Spider-Verse movies is because they want to see how the animation can evolve. And let me tell you right now, this movie is tied with Frozen 2 as the best looking animated movie I have ever seen. Every single frame in this movie is like a work of art. The shots are gorgeous as all. Like, every single frame is gorgeous. The character animation is better because it shows that these characters have grown. It's not just the comic booky style. They experimented on other styles as well. Like, there was hand-drawn style, and even like some character designs that are in the style of Saturday morning cartoons. Yep. You can clearly tell the animators had so much passion, put into the making of these characters. It's just really good. The plot of this movie is basically a meta commentary on the Spider-Man tropes. We've seen, how Spider-Man would lose a loved one in every Spider-Man universe. With Tom Holland's Spider-Man, it's Aunt May. The classic Spider-Man losing Uncle Ben. Other Spider-Man, losing their father, losing their love interest, losing, someone. And the whole conflict is basically Miles Morales trying to break the canon. Like, in the first film, he broke the canon. Peter Parker was killed off and Miles got bitten by a radioactive spider. But it turns out the radioactive spider was not supposed to bite Miles. It was supposed to bite someone else. And that pretty much caused Miles to change things around to break the Spider-Man tropes. But Miguel O'Hara wants all Spider-Man stories in all universes to be the same, like to be formulaic. That's why he went after Miles. Now, everyone's been asking, why is Miguel so mad that he got the entire Spider Society to go after Miles? Now you got your reason right there. This movie also continues what Into the Spider-Verse accomplished with its storytelling, making your characters relatable and resonating. It's actually a movie about, troubled relationships. About how one person's life cannot go what you want. I mean, it's pretty much our stories. Like, we all have our own stories to tell. Like, we all have our own life stories. And I love that. And also, Miles' troubled relationship with his parents and flunking out of school. Yeah, that's pretty much just the part of Miles' story is written, but his story is completely different from other Spider-Man. And if you think that, the writing is not good enough, well, the dialogue is extremely sharp. This movie uses multiverses to create plot twists that you won't see coming. And I gotta say right now, the plot twist in this movie might be the greatest plot twist in movie history. It is just pure brilliance. Now, time for me to talk about the characters in this movie. Miles Morales, he is just as good, if not better, than he was in the first film. Now that he's grown taller, he's become a lot more mature in a good and bad way. Now that he's grown apart, he pretty much has this troubled relationship with his parents. I mentioned twice in this review. This is probably the most relatable for a movie I've seen. Not just Miles, but Gwen as well. I relate to Gwen a lot, like even more than Miles. I relate to Gwen because I'm someone who has a hard time making friends in real life. I feel like an outcast sometimes, and people will tell me, oh, you need to make friends, but suddenly I kind of fail to make friends. And it does take me a while to make friends, but I see myself in Gwen when it comes to being an outcast. And one of the only friends that Gwen Stacy ever had was Peter Parker. And so whenever someone bullies Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy would protect him, and I really like that. The new characters are really good too. Spider-Man 2099 is great. Like, he's kind of like an anti-hero in this one. He's not really a villain because he pretty much wants to get rid of Miles for messing up the multiverse, which makes sense. Like, in a way, Miles Morales kind of feels like a villain, and Peter Parker and Spider-Man 2099 is just angry. But the Spot is truly the best villain. And speaking of the Spot, oh my goodness, he has just dethroned Mysterio as my favorite Spider-Man villain area. Yeah, Spot is my favorite Spider-Man villain now. I mean, yeah, sure, he's not in it that much. I mean, and when he first starts introducing, like, in the first 20 minutes of the movie, in the 20-minute mark, like, when we see him for the first time, he does look like more of a villain like that, like a boring villain where he just has no motivation, but he actually has motivation, and his motivations make sense, and it kind of like connects to the first one, which is why I compared him to Dante from Fast X. Like, he was like, pretty much behind everything this whole time. Like, you may be wondering, what can he do with this film? Oh my goodness, he is a real threat. He enters the multiverses where he could literally cross the multiverses, and each time he goes into the multiverse, he causes so much damage, so much destruction, and he becomes more powerful as he enters more multiverses, and he becomes a Thanos, or should I say Kang level threat. Like, he's basically the Kang of the multiverse, and I will say, like, he's actually better than Kang. Like when it comes to villain with multiversal travels. And then there's also some great characters as well. Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, Spider-Punk, who is voiced wonderfully by Daniel Kaluuya, like awesome, and Spider-Man India, voiced by Dopinder from Deadpool. And of course, I need to talk about Miles Morales' parents. Like, they both have some great motivation as well. There was actually an emotional scene with Spider-Man and Jefferson Davis talking, where Spider-Man asks him, like, what about his son, and he pretty much like gives an emotional talk about him being troubles of parenting, and I kind of teared up in that scene. And then of course we got Rio Morales giving Miles Morales an inspirational speech. Like, you saw this from a teaser trailer, like, where she said, you'll go out, like, it's just hard to see my little boy be my little man at a time. But what I worry about most is that he is lost, and you can do great things like that. That stuff from the trailer, yeah, that was just as emotional as it was in the trailer. The one downgrade this movie had from Into the Spider-Verse is Peter B. Parker. I love Peter B. Parker in the first film. He's just such a great mentor to the great Spider-Man. But this one, he's not in it as much, so he definitely has stepped down. I still like him, him and Gwen, like, trying to protect Spider-Man, and he has some great stuff as well, but I just prefer him in the first film. Also, he's pretty much the comedic guy in this one, I will say. All the jokes in this movie come from him. Also, Spider-Man India also has some great jokes as well. I almost forgot to talk about the action scenes. This movie almost has non-stop action. I mean, we got so many action anime movies before, but never has anime movie had more action scenes than this. Like, this has more action scenes than a lot of the MCU. The second and third act is just bursting with adrenaline. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I suck. Like, so much rush, so much, like getting pumped up and getting on the edge of your seat. So much action, so much tension. This one, it has probably the most number of action scenes in an anime film. Almost non-stop action. But yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is such a good commentary for animation. It is my second favorite movie of all time behind Frozen 2, and it gets all the credit it deserves. Yeah. So with that said, guys, I'm gonna give Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse not a 10 out of 10, but an infinity out of 10. Yeah, this is the first time I've given a movie that, I think, but yeah. So yeah, what is your opinion on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Who agrees with me that this is the best Spider-Man movie, the best comic book movie, and one of the best movies of all time? Or do you think that it's not as good as Spider-Verse? So yeah, and this is truly the best movie 2023 for sure. Which is right now my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year after this movie. So yeah. Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of all Spider-Man movies, my review for the TV show American Born Chinese, and my biggest rant on my channel, the Trolls World 2001 rant videos. So yeah, bye guys.
There he goes, little guy.